Hello. So today we're going to talk about our new training, our brand new training, and our new training is called Rise Up. And the idea about Rise Up is it's a startup package for the mind and the body. And so I want to explain to you in 3 steps about how that works and how it works as a package. And so the first step that I want to talk to you about is just being able to recognize that you have negative emotions running. And maybe they're not really running in the foreground of your life, but maybe they're running in the background of your life. And so what does that look like to you? And what does that feel like to you? And are you in touch with any negative emotions? And how do you act out of these negative emotions? And so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the 10 negative emotions that are associated with our 10 major organs in our body and how it all goes together in the Rise Up package. Okay, we have an online training so that you can really get into it and really understand how it works. Now, it's based on the 5 elements, and the 5 elements are ancient traditional medicine, and it has been around for nearly 6,000 years, and so it is time tested. The way that the medical people in the Chinese medicine think is very, very about all the elements and how they interact and about the emotions that are associated with each of the elements and about how they interact in our body. And so I want to kind of start a little bit of overview with that and just give you some ideas about that. So first of all, the 5 elements are water, earth, wood, fire, and metal. Okay? So each one of those elements exist in all of us, okay? And the ideal would be to have all of your elements in balance. And so there are personality tests online to say where's your dominant element and what is your personality type. But really truly in the essence of elements, we want those to be balanced. We want them all to be balanced. And what is it that gets in our way of having our elements balanced? Well, it's our emotions. It's our emotional body. It's the way we run our emotions. And underneath our emotions are core beliefs, but we want to be able to just understand how the emotions run and how they roll. So the first element that I would like to talk about is the water element, and the emotions that run in the water element are associated with the kidneys and the bladder. So those are our 2 water organs in our body, right? Those are the yin and the yang of the water. So the kidney organ, the emotional energy that is associated with the kidney, the negative emotion, is fear and anxiety. Now, it's Christmas time. Does anybody have fear and anxiety? I'm sure your world is rocking a little bit right now. And so fear and anxiety is pretty normal. We've just come through a couple of years of pandemic, and so everybody has experienced a ton of fear and anxiety. And so fear and anxiety has been big and present in our lives. And so that's our association with our kidneys. So when you look at it and you say, okay, I'm running fear and anxiety all the time, where does that land in my body? Well, it lands in our kidneys. The issues are in the tissues. So that's why we call it mind and body, okay? Mind and body. They go together just like peanut butter and jelly. It's like you can't really work on one without having the other affected. But we have a program called Rise Up. This is our program where we actually have a startup package to work with both the mind and the body. So the first element that we're talking about right here is a water element. We talked about fear and anxiety being in the kidney. Well, the bladder, the issues for the bladder are overwhelm and powerless. Okay, so you think about that, overwhelm and powerless. Those are pretty common emotional issues too. I know that my grandson came home from school not very long ago, and he'd been kind of tormented by a bigger kid and bullied. And because of his size, he felt powerless. And so, you know, where would that wind up in his body would be probably in his bladder. And so, or in the nervous system associated with the bladder, which would be the lumbar 3 vertebrae. So we can look at all of the pieces, put them together, and if you're an investigator like me, if you love to know the reasons behind everything, then that can be really fun and interesting to you. The second element that I want to talk about today is the earth element. And the organs associated with the earth element are the spleen and the stomach. And the emotions associated with the spleen are guilt and shame. And the emotions associated with the stomach is criticism and mistrust. Okay? So when you think about those particular issues and know that those tissues may land, or those issues may land in your tissues, and you're having a stomach ache, what do you feel? Oh, what is your self-criticism, or what kind of criticism do you perceive is coming to you? And so that's where you can use the NoviChi protocols around criticism and mistrust to release those visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. We'll get into that in the next video, because this one I just want to go through discovery. The next element is the wood element. And the organs associated with the wood element is the liver and the gallbladder. The issues that are associated with the liver are anger, resentment, hatred, real guttural, stuff. And the issues associated with the gallbladder would be irritated and also irrational behavior. So if you're doing something that's totally out of character for you, you may have some imbalances in your gallbladder. All right. So the fourth element that I want to talk about is the fire element. And the fire element is about our passion and our purpose. And we want to have really plenty of fire, right? And the organs associated with fire are the heart and the small intestine. And the issues of the heart are apathy and disconnect, feeling rejected or rejecting someone else. It's that energy of the middle finger, right? Okay. Well, the issues around the small intestine are indecision and confusion. Now, how many of you have suffered that? I have had plenty of that in recent days. And it's really hard to manifest when you're in confusion. It's really even hard to know what it is you're manifesting when you're in confusion. And so the small intestine is really important in our decision-making process. The fifth element and the last element is metal, okay? And the metal element is our lungs and our large intestine. And so the issue that lands in our lungs is grief and depression. And the issue that lands in our small intestine is grievances, a lack of forgiveness, and being stubborn, okay? So those are the 5 elements, and those are the 10 organs, and the meridians that are associated with them, and the emotions that are associated with all of the organs. And so I want you to think about, is any of those things, any of those emotions plaguing you? And do you have a need to release those emotions and to get clear? To clear your body and your mind of those negative emotions that may be running in the background or are just full on as you're living your life. So I want you to think about that. I'm going to actually post those emotions with the corresponding organs in the thread below so that you have those and you can really ponder those and think about it. So this is part 1 of our 3-part process of understanding our new program called Rise Up. So thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video.